Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for an upper body day, and very happy with today's workout. Uh, Making some adjustments. One of the things I need to really think about, I had someone in person pretty much tell me that my back development is ridiculous, that it's disproportionate to the point where I probably do not need my lats to grow any further ever again for the rest of my life unless I plan on becoming a professional bodybuilder. So putting that in context, I realized doing all the pull-ups probably isn't ideal. So I decided let's just do only chin-ups for a while because arms do need to be my highest priority, right? I think we all agree biceps and triceps needing to come up is important. So I'm just going to do a nice, relatively close grip chin, right? Because these I feel the most stretch in my biceps. So I also did, by the way, benching. I'm like, let me just go 315 and do some decently heavy work sets, leave a rep or so in reserve. Now that I've gone to this really wide grip, okay? Because I am gripping pretty dang wide at this point. As you guys notice, I am almost at the edge of meat legal width, okay? Notice either the first or second finger is on the rings. I'm benching wide, benching pretty much flat foot, and managed to get with good pause reps, 315 for a triple. Obviously, when I was arching in a more medium grip, wrist wraps, all that stuff, I did at one time get quite a bit more. I believe my best was 8 reps with that. But I'm also a bit leaner now. Again, a more difficult version, and I like that because it's going to keep building my chest up, and I'm just going to keep working chest and triceps. But what I'm also doing here, I'm keeping the volumes just more moderated, and I think what I'm going to continue to do here, my big lifts, what are my 4 lifts? Squat, bench, deadlift, and then I guess chin-ups, because I probably need to do chins instead of pull-ups. And then, of course, arm work. I mean, am I going to treat the barbell curl like a main lift? Maybe. But I don't want to go that heavy on it. I feel like if I'm going to do heavy chins, I really need more reps out of the curls. So what I really want to do with all my training is continue what I've been doing. All right, focus on those lifts and lots of accessory work, but keeping the volumes moderated. But look at going somewhat heavy on all my main lifts, right? Keep them fairly heavy, my 4 big lifts, and then try to get 10 plus on all the other stuff and have some finishers, some really high rep finishers. So almost treat, what do we want to treat? Curls and extensions like normal accessories just to get bigger on. Belt squats, glute ham raises, all that stuff, right? Let's keep that stuff, up and about the 8 to 12. Now the curls, the first set, I ended up getting more than 12, and I went to failure on all the sets. Let's try to keep that stuff 8 to 12, maybe 3 to 8 for the main lifts, and then let's have some really high rep finishers, right? And they only need 1 or 2 sets. So we'll get to those finishers here at the end. But you guys have kind of figured out what they are on the lower body day. All right, I took that set of chins to failure. So I did 3 sets of 6 with a 45. I failed the 7th rep. So that was actually a failure set. That was intentional. All right, the extensions kind of am where I'm at right now. These are so hard with this weight that getting my 3x10 is extremely difficult. Like a lot of these, that last rep, I'm actually failing. And if you guys notice the bar path, it's drifting forward. I can't lock it on the third set each time. So I am pretty much at straight up limit sets here. So all I can really do at this point is keep pushing the bench up because that's also working triceps, but keep hammering these extensions. My triceps from just doing these extensions, the way that I'm doing them, my triceps pretty much have DOMs 7 days a week. So for the past 2 weeks, I don't think I've had a single morning where I didn't wake up with just a little bit of tricep DOMs. That tricep work is so hard that's doing that. All right, for the curls, I'm like, look, if I'm going to do chins and push performance, let's just make the curls strict. You know what? And not care what anyone thinks. And people say, oh, you're using a light weight. But I'm doing full range of motion. Okay? Super strict. Going to failure. All right? I don't think we can hate on that. I don't think we can hate on that at all. So what am I doing? I'm locking all the way out at the bottom. I'm taking a pretty close grip on these. It's just right at shoulder width. That is a nice close grip. I got 12 to 14 reps on all those. I think I got 14 on the first, and I could only squeeze out 12, and pretty much failed. And again, now I'm going to start working on getting a hair leaner again at this point. So we're gonna keep working on these things. So now we need to tighten the waistline up further, keep the arms growing. I feel like I've gained a little bit of muscle again since the adjustments in the diet. I'm holding still a little bit of boof, but that's okay. It'll come back down. Make some adjustments to bring that back down. I just cut my sodium back down and stuff a little bit. And so let's get tighter. Let's get leaner. Keep working on the arms. All right. But with the curls here, so what are we doing? Locking at the bottom, as far as I can personally go. Trying to keep the same torso position. So I'm just going to keep it somewhat upright, and hopefully we're not hitting being limited on range of motion with the thigh. But I'm bringing the arm forward to try to make sure that I can lock the bottom. We're using a little bit of shoulder extension because that is one of the functions of the long head, so that I can bring the bar up towards my face. So basically we're taking the bicep through its longest range of motion that we can do with a bar, trying to keep it strict and just go on to failure, right? And we'll see how this works combined with the chins, because the chins are really going to put that heavy weight on it. All right, that's where the heavy weight's going to be. Let's just really get in and focus on isolating and just taking them to fatigue, right? So again, taking the sets to momentary failure. The extensions, I'm almost doing a little bit of a breather to get that last rep or so. But then on the last set, I ended up pretty much hitting failure again. I knew that I couldn't lock it, so the form broke down on rep 10. So these are, again, pushing these as hard as they're going to go. So this is, again, making sure my arms are getting worked on everything. So what are we getting with this? Really, for these on the main lifts, it's only 3 sets for chest, 3 sets for lats, 6 sets for arms, because both of these are arm exercises. Bench does work the triceps. The extensions definitely work the triceps. But as far as chest goes, the way I'm doing those extensions with a little pullover does work a little chest. Chin-ups do work a little bit of chest. But the chest is still going to get work when I do a pullover pretty much at the end. Okay, so we end up, if we don't count those and we only count the bench and pullovers, we'll get 8 sets for chest. 4 for each upper body workout. Arms are getting the priority though, right? Biceps and triceps. So they're being prioritized a little, but keeping in mind the pullovers hit the triceps a little bit. So can we count that as a set for the long head? Probably. Lateral and medial head definitely get worked on the benching and the extensions, so they're getting 12. And I'll count this as a long head set. Maybe the chins would count also. That's subject to debate. I've seen guys like Dr. Mike say that they absolutely count for that. But the pullovers, I just took this pretty much till they burned, and I just grabbed the 45. I did this last time. I went up and did 90 and managed to get 10, but it's like, look, let's just do these as a really high rep finisher. I do want to get some different rep ranges. I do feel like there can be merit to that, and as some of the experts have said, as evidence comes out over the years, they think there is going to be more evidence showing there are slightly different mechanisms for hypertrophy through vastly different rep ranges, and it's probably a good idea to do a little bit of all of them. So we are seeing me do, a little bit of 3 to 5 on the big lifts, or 3 to 6 or whatever. Then taking those normal traditional hypertrophy rep ranges, and then I'm doing some really high rep finishers. This counts as a high rep finisher. And then laterals, okay? So I pretty much took this till it just burned and I felt like I couldn't do any more, which was something like 27 or 28. Again, after doing all this other work though, this gave a lot of burn in the pecs. It did hit the lats. I did feel it in the triceps. I felt the triceps really light up here too, that long head. That's what we want. So that, and then laterals, I just grabbed the 10-pound plates and just did them slow and controlled to failure. I'm like, same thing. I don't want to cheat on these. It's like, let's just finish the shoulders off. Grab the little 10-pound plates. Try to stay upright and just burn the hell out of the delts, right? Just take the set to failure. Chin-ups hit the delts, okay? Bench press hits the delts. those extensions hit the delt. Everything I'm doing technically does work delts, but I want to make them finish, and I feel like shoulders are not a weak link for me. As I get leaner, my shoulders are going to be big and round and capped anyways. They're really not a weak link for me at all. But I do want to make sure they get something in here to finish them off with a bit of direct work. And just doing one set like this to failure each workout, just as a finisher, probably not a bad idea. Right? Probably not a bad idea. And I might also work in a band press down eventually here also. But very, very happy with today's workout. Everything went good. Everything felt great. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.